held for me in the future, because I know that there's so many terrorists and bomb threats around here in the United States that I'm actually scared right now, and they're just putting it aside like it's nothing. But that should be the main thing, and then the tax and the credentials and everything come second.
Thanks very much. On Twitter, Ken Sproul writes, Romney won on substance and his past leadership records. Obama showed up this time but cannot defend his failed policies. Next is Sarasota, Florida. Scott, an independent.
Hi. Actually, I just need a couple comments on the presidential debate. I have to say that President Obama has completely embarrassed the presidency. I cannot believe he is the president of the United States with his body language, demeanor, and ability to answer the questions that he's delivered. Can't even look Mitt Romney in the eye when he's asked a direct question because he has no answer. You know, the second issue that I think that both of the candidates, were, pretty much missing of the fact is we're not dealing with women's issues right now. Why is this even an issue? Nobody's going to overturn Roe versus Wade. Reagan couldn't even do that. So, who cares what they both believe personally? It's not going to change what's going to happen in the government. Nobody's going to overturn Roe versus Wade. So women don't have to worry about that. So don't vote based on those issues. I just think that there's a lot of things that need to be looked at and educated, to everybody that's actually listening.
Thanks for your call. From Twitter, Jay John writes, I feel like this debate was all about how much money can we get. We live in a country where you can make it with some effort. Next is Jonesville, Virginia. Our caller is Lloyd, an independent there.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to talk about Romney there. He said he was at a coal plant in Virginia with 1,200 miners who was out of work. He also was talking about at that coal site that he would do away with all the jobs that would do harm or cause death to the people. Is he either going to bring coal back or is he going to let it go? And also, he ain't no president. He's no candidate for presidency because he turned his back to Obama when he was sitting there trying to shake his hand. I mean, if he's going to church and a bishop or a deacon or whatever he may be, you're supposed to forgive and forget, not turn your back.
Thank you, Lloyd. Swainsboro, Georgia, up next, and this is Mikhail, Republican.
Hi, yeah, this is actually Michael.
Michael, thank you.
Sure. I would just like to say I think that Obama just, he has a hard time answering questions, the right questions, such as, giving the right answer. Rather, for example, when they were talking, when Romney came up with the situation about the China investment, and, they brought that up, and he asked Obama about the pension, but he couldn't, his own pension, he would not answer. He always turns the other way, won't answer no questions straight out. And I think the main thing, too, at the very end, I think Obama had an opportunity to speak through his heart to the people at the very end. And I think he got off subject there a little bit, didn't speak much about America, what he could really do compared to what Romney did when Romney started speaking what he would do. I really felt that, he was saying it through his heart, especially when he mentioned God, about God's part of this country, and this is what it ought to be. And I have not heard anything about God from Obama or anything like that where I think this country, has risen them. So I just think he missed the opportunity at the end.
Thanks, Michael. Well, you will have the last word for right now, but more opportunities to offer your comments about the debate. In just a couple of seconds, we're going to replay the debate in its entirety, and when it's over, we'll have an entire hour of phone calls, tweets, and Facebook comments once again. And then tomorrow morning on the Washington Journal, beginning at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 full hours on the debate. We'll pull clips from the evening and have an opportunity for you to call in with your observations on substance or on process and what you thought of whether or not much was discussed in this format, and all kinds of opportunities to weigh in tomorrow beginning at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. The candidates continue on the campaign trail. Tomorrow, President Obama will have a rally in Mount Vernon, Iowa, a swing state, and he will be there at 12:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can see it on this network. Mitt Romney travels to Virginia, and he'll be in the town of Chesapeake at 1:15. That will also be carried live on C-SPAN. Right now, our coverage of the debate in its entirety, followed by your comments after. Thanks for being with us.
Good evening from Hofstra University in Hempstead, New York. I'm Candy Crowley from CNN's State of the Union. We are here for the second presidential debate at Town Hall, sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates. The Gallup organization chose 82 uncommitted voters from the New York area. Their questions will drive the night. My goal is to give the conversation direction and to ensure questions get answered. The questions are known to me and my team only. Neither the commission nor the candidates have seen them. I hope to get to as many questions as possible, and because I am the optimistic sort, I'm sure the candidates will oblige by keeping their answers concise and on point. Each candidate has as much as 2 minutes to respond to a common question, and there will be a 2-minute follow-up. The audience here in the hall has agreed to be polite and attentive, no cheering or booing or outbursts of any sort. We will set aside that agreement just this once to welcome President Barack Obama and Governor Mitt Romney. Gentlemen, thank you both for joining us here tonight. We have a lot of folks who have been waiting all day to talk to you, so I want to get right to it. Governor Romney, as you know, you won the coin toss, so the first question will go to you. And I want to turn to a first-time voter, Jeremy Epstein, who has a question for you.
Mr. President, Governor Romney, as a 20-year-old college student, all I hear from professors, neighbors, and others is that when I graduate, I will have little chance to get employment. What can you say to reassure me, but more importantly, my parents, that I will be able to sufficiently support myself after I graduate?
Thank you, Jeremy. I appreciate your question, and thank you for being here this evening, and to all of those from Nassau County here that have come, thank you for your time. Thank you to Hofstra University and to Candy Crowley for organizing and leading this event. Thank you, Mr. President, also for being part of this debate. Your question is one that's being asked by college kids all over this country. I was in Pennsylvania with someone who just graduated. This was in Philadelphia, and she said, I've got my degree, I can't find a job. I've got 3 part-time jobs. They're just barely enough to pay for my food and pay for an apartment. I can't begin to pay back my student loans. So what we have to do is 2 things. We have to make sure that we make it easier for kids to afford college, and also make sure that when they get out of college, there's a job. When I was governor of Massachusetts, to get a high school degree, you had to pass an exam. If you graduated in the top quarter of your class, we gave you a John and Abigail Adams scholarship, 4 years tuition free to the college of your choice in Massachusetts. It's a public institution. I want to make sure we keep our Pell Grant program growing. We're also going to have our loan program so that people are able to afford school. But the key thing is to make sure you can get a job when you get out of school. And what's happened over the last 4 years has been very, very hard for America's young people. I want you to be able to get a job. I know what it takes to get this economy going. With half of college kids graduating this year without a job,